Good morning, students. So now for our new topic, and it is for class 7th. Now our today's subject will be civics, and in civics our today's chapter is on equality. Okay, so have you noted down? Our today's subject is civics, class 7th, and today's chapter name is on equality. Okay, so let's move now to the contents of this chapter. What are we going to learn in this chapter? Note it down very carefully. Now moving to today's contents. In today's topic, that is on equality, we have 8 subtopics. In this, we will learn about what is constitution, what are the fundamental rights in the constitution, equal right to vote, that is called the universal adult franchise. Other than the equal right to vote, what are the other kinds of equality? Okay, because of inequality and casteism, that is a caste system, recognizing dignity. I'll explain you that. Then we will see equality in the Indian democracy. What kind of equalities are there in the Indian democracy? Issues of equality in other democracies. There are many issues, means the government has made the law, but then too the people are not following that law, though it is there in the constitution. Then government implemented Article 15 in the Indian Constitution. What is that? What is that Article 15 in the Indian Constitution? And the challenge of democracy. What challenges the democracy has to face? Okay. Now these 8 subtopics we will distribute in 2 parts. It means today's chapter on equality, we will distribute this chapter in 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. In part 1, we will take 4 subtopics, and in part 2, another 4 subtopics. Okay. So in today's part, we will take what is constitution, equal right to vote, other kinds of equality, and recognizing dignity. This will be our 4 subtopics for today. Now, before knowing what is our constitution, we should know about the equality. So let's first discuss about equality, on equality. Now, what is equality? Equality is a key feature of democracy and influences all the aspects of its functioning. Means what is equality? Equality means the equal right to everyone. All the people in the country should have the equal right in all the forms. Right? And it should be there. It is the key feature. The equality is the key feature of the democracy. Equality is about ensuring that every individual has the equal opportunity to make the most of their lives and talents. Means if we say right to vote, means each and every person will have the right to vote after an eligible age. Right to freedom means what kind of freedom do the people have in their country. Okay. Right to their lives means how could they live their life. They have the right to live their life as the way they want. So these all kind of equalities are being given to the people of the country. Equality recognizes that historical certain groups of people with protected characteristics such as race, disability, sex or sexual orientation have experienced discrimination. Okay? Now what is discrimination? Discrimination means the unjust or prejudicial treatment of different categories of people. Means to treat people as per their level, right? Means if they are race, here we are talking about race, sex, disability, right? Race means the color of the people, the complexion. We treat people as per their complexion. We like fair people more than the dark colored, right? So here equality says that all the group of people, whether they are of any caste, they are of any religion, any sex, any race, they have any disability, all should be treated equally. Okay? So now we can talk about the Constitution. All of you know about your rights. Okay? Means if you are a child, you don't know. But your parents, the adults in your house, they know about their rights. What kind of rights do they have in their country? Right? But who gives you this right? You on your own cannot make a law, or you cannot make you cannot make a law of your own and start implementing it. The rights or the fundamental rights, you can say. The fundamental rights which are being there, these are being given by the Indian Constitution. These are being given by the Indian Constitution. Now what is the Constitution? Constitution is a document which contains details. Details of what? Means how would you govern the country? How is the government going to govern the country? So Constitution is such kind of a document. It is a framework within which a government has to function. Means whatever rights are being written there in the Constitution, the government has to follow that functions. So that is the Constitution, and it is compulsory for everyone to follow it. Whether it is the Prime Minister, starting from the Prime Minister to a laborer, everybody has to follow the rules which are being written in the Constitution. It defines the powers of different organs of the government and also enumerates the rights and duties of the citizen. In that it has been clearly written what are the rights and the duties of the citizen of the country, and whether it is any different organ of the government, means Prime Minister, President, Ministers, other ministers, everything, who has what power. Okay? And it is not created by the Parliament. Never think that the Constitution is created by the Parliament. No. It is created by the Constituent Assembly and adopted by its people with a declaration of in the preamble. Now what is the preamble? I'll explain you after this. Okay, so whatever has been written in the Constitution is written about, or you can say for the people or for the citizen of the country. Okay, so this is the Constitution. Constitution is the document in which all the details are been there about how to govern our country, and according to that the government has to function. Okay, now next, further we will see more about the Indian Constitution. But now what is there in the Indian Constitution other than the rights? Other than the fundamental rights, what is there in the Indian Constitution? The Indian Constitution is the world's longest constitution. First thing to be known, that the Indian Constitution is the world's longest constitution. Okay, as its commencement, it has 395 articles. There are many articles divided through which the government runs the country, or you can say through which the government runs, okay, works. So the Constitution, the Indian Constitution has 395 articles, and that also 395 articles in 22 parts and 8 schedules. Now, how many words are there? Do you know approximately how many words are there in the Constitution? The Constitution consists of approximately 145,000 words. It is how many words? Approximately 145,000 words, making it the second largest active constitution in the world. Okay, now currently our constitution, it has a preamble, 25 parts with 12 schedules, 5 appendices, 448 articles and 101 amendments. Now this is what our Indian Constitution is, what has been written inside. Further about this, all this which we have talked about, we will see in the topic, or you can say the chapter Indian Constitution. You have a chapter named by Indian Constitution. With about this in detail we will discuss in that chapter. Right now only a short summary about it, where you can understand what is Indian Constitution. Okay. Next, let's see the 6 fundamental rights which are being there. We'll only take the names right now, but we will discuss about these rights in the chapter Indian Constitution. Okay, so let's move to the 6 fundamental rights. Now the Indian Constitution of India provides its citizen with 6 fundamental rights. Now which are these rights? First right, right to freedom. Right to freedom means people of the country can have the freedom of taking any of the professions which they want. They are not bounded under anyone. Second, throughout the country they can move anyway. Okay, they can reside anywhere, they have the freedom. Right to equality. Right to equality means for, you can say, all kind of equalities, where all people can use whatever is there in the country. Not only it is for the rich people, or not only it is for the high class people. No. Whether it is parks, temples, or you can say monuments, it can be used. Means each and every person of the country has the right to use it. Cultural and educational right means each and every child from the age of 4 to 15 has the right to education. Whether in government school or in some private school, wherever it is, but they have the right of education. In short, you can say RTE. Okay. Right to constitutional remedies. Right to constitutional remedies means this right is very important for the legal development of the citizens of the country. All citizens have equal right to appeal in the court of law for justice. So that comes under the right of constitutional remedy. Means if anybody has some problem related with justice, they could or if they want justice, you can say, then they have the equal right to appeal in the court. It is not like that the person should be a rich person or a person should be a high class person or a minister, then only he can appeal to the court of law for justice. No. Any person, if they feel they have the threat of life or property or to join the government in order to effect this change. Why was this been done? This right was written in the constitution because it was seen that the people who were poor, they were scared, you can say, they were scared of going to the court of law asking for justice, because they thought that it is a wastage of time and money both. So that's why this right was been implemented, that any people from the country of any class, any caste, any race can come and appeal in the court of law for justice. Okay. Next is the right against exploitation. One should always remember that to be exploited is to be misused. We often see that the kids and poor people are especially vulnerable of being exploited. This one was the most important fundamental right, ensure things like education for students and equal pay for work. Exploitation means the one with the misuse of someone, you can say. You are misusing someone, means somebody is working at your place for 8 to 10 hours and you are not paying the person the same as per his work. Means this is exploitation towards him. Exploitation towards kids in what ways? Means at the age of studying or at the age of education, the child is working somewhere, right? Means he has the right to study, he has the right to education, but he is not being sent to school. So right to exploitation means you can raise your voice when you are not being treated equal as per the others. You are being used, but you are being not paid properly. So you can raise your voice for that. And our next is right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom of religion means if in our country each and every citizen can practice their choice of religion. Okay, everyone is free to do whatever his or her religions tell them to do. Right, we are Hindus. If we want to go to the temple, we want to worship God, we want to celebrate our Hindu festivals, we have that right to religion, right to freedom of religion. Nobody is going to stop us from doing that. Okay, and so goes for the Muslims. They can fast during the Ramzan, Christians during the Lent, and Hindus during the Navratri. So fasting is also one kind of a freedom of religion which is there in the constitution. Okay. However, in following our religion, we should not forget that other people are free to follow theirs, and so there is no reason to fight. Means each and every person have their own religion and they have the right to follow their culture. If their culture says of fasting, they can. If their culture says the celebration in a different way, they are free to do that. Nobody can stop them. Okay? So these are the fundamental rights of the Constitution. Okay? Further, I will show you the Constitution of India. Means I'll show you the Constitution of India in a picture. How does the Constitution of India looks? Because personally you can't go to see that, but I can show you the picture. Just have a look on that. Now look, this is the first page, you can say the first page of the Constitution of India, cover page. You can name it as cover page. This is the cover page of Indian constitution. Okay? And then goes further. Did you take a look how our Indian constitution looks? Yes. Okay? Now I'll show you preamble. We had talked about the preamble. I'll show you what it is. Okay? And what has been written in that. Now this is the preamble. Okay? What is preamble? Preamble declares India to be a sovereign, socialist, secular and democratic republic. The objectives stated by the preamble are to secure justice, liberty, equality to all the citizens and promote fraternity to maintain unity and integrity of the nation. Now what is the preamble? The preamble declares that our India is a secular and a democratic country. It also says that the citizens of India are secure to justice, liberty and equality. They have the equal rights towards the justice and equality. Okay, so these all things are been written in the preamble. So have a look at the preamble. I'll read it for you. With the people of India having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic and to secure all its citizens justice. In what case? Justice like social, economic and political justice. Liberty. Liberty in what? Liberty means freedom. Freedom means what? Freedom of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship. Okay, people are free to believe anything. They also have the freedom in that. They have been given the liberty of that. Thought. Think. You can think anything. You have the freedom to think anything. Equality. Equality of status and of opportunity and to promote among them all. Fraternity. Assuring the dignity of individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, the 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this Constitution. Means this preamble was written to tell us that the Constitution is being written for the welfare of the people of the country. This preamble declares that. Okay. Now we will take our first topic, that is second topic, that is equal right to vote. Let's move. Equal right to vote. Okay. You must have seen your parents going for voting. Have you ever asked them why don't they take you also for voting? Your parents must have made you understand about it, right? That dear child, you are right now not eligible for voting because the eligible age for voting is after 18 years. Yes, it's true. Okay. When you become of 18 years, when you are of 18 years or above 18 years, then only you can go and vote. Then you will also have the equal right to vote. More about equal rights. Now India is a democratic country, right? But in this democratic country, we have the right to vote. Now who has the right to vote? Any people, you can say. Any people without any discrimination, without any, you can say, inequality of what religion they belong to, how much educated they are, of what caste they are, how whether they are rich or poor, of any race. No such kind of inequality are being seen for voting. Any people in our country has the right to vote. Only one thing matters is the age. When you are of 18 years, then you have the right to vote, above 18 years. So here you can say, in a democratic country like India, all adults, irrespective of what religion they belong to, how much education they have had, what caste they are, or whether they are rich or poor, are allowed to vote. Means while voting, no such categories are being seen. Only one category matters, is your age. So this is called the universal adult franchisee, and it is an essential aspect of our democracy, of all the democracies. Means each and every person of the country will have the right to vote. No person will be seen by the race, class, caste, religion or education to vote. Okay, the idea of universal adult franchisee is based on the idea of equality. Why was idea of universal adult franchisee taken or given out? Only so that there is equality in the country. People shouldn't feel that only some people or only the high class people or the rich people are given the right to vote. Each and every person of the country has the right to select the government, to elect the government. So nobody should feel like they are not treated equal. So this idea of universal adult franchisee was given out. Okay, and under this system, the value of each vote is same. Means whosoever gives the vote has the same value. It is not like that a rich person is giving the vote, so his vote will be counted more, or the poor person is giving the vote, his vote will be counted less. No. And one person can only vote once. So this is the right to vote, or you can say universal adult franchisee, under which each person or every person of the country can vote, whether he is of any caste, religion, class, race or education. Only one thing is needed, that is the age of 18, above the age of 18. Whosoever votes should have the age of 18. Okay, so next we will see other kind of equality. Right to vote we have seen, equal right to vote we have seen that. But now what are the other kinds of equality which the people are inequality also? Inequality we will count here, that the people are facing some kind of inequality. Okay, but what kinds of equality are there about which the people do not know? Let's see. Other kinds of equality, it's from which one is economic equality. Economic equality means equal work and equal pay. Whether it is a woman or a man, both are working for same minutes, same hours, same time. Right? Then why it is that the men are paid more than the women? Although the women are doing the same work as the men are, then why aren't they be paid the same as the men? So one equality here is economic equality, means The work you take from a person, you should pay as per the work. Means equal work, equal pay. Okay. Now second is social equality. It is also important for any democratic system. Now social equality means people living in the society, in our society means in our country, our nearby, anyone, okay, they have the right to express their thought. We should not treat them as we are only going to listen to the superiors, or we are only going to listen to the high class people or rich class people. No. Social equality means each and every person, okay, the state of affairs where everyone has equal respect and status in certain aspects. Equality of opportunity means no one shall be excluded from the social activities of the society like education, employment or healthcare. Everything comes in that. Whether it is on the basis of thoughts, whether it is for the education, social equality says that education is also the right of the people, whether they are of any class, caste, race or religion. Employment, everybody has the right to employ for employment. Whatever profession they want, they can accept that. Healthcare, hospitals, doctors cannot treat the patient as per their class. They have to treat the patients equally, whether they are anybody, it is a rich or a poor patient. So this all comes in the social equality. The Indian Constitution seeks equality for all. Means I have told you before only that Indian Constitution, it is written in the Indian Constitution that equality is all. But here we can say, in reality, caste equality has been a challenge for Indian democracy. Why? Though it has been written in the Constitution, people still do not follow that. They still treat the people as per their race or their caste. Okay, means still inequality is there in the country, though it is there in the Constitution, and this is the biggest challenge for the Indian democracy. Okay. Now one more kind of equality is there. There are many kinds of equality, I have told you. Right to social equality, economic equality. Now we would see the right to equality is with the education. Okay, right to education. Now the another challenge, first challenge for the Indian government, or you can say for the Indian democracy, is the caste system. Now the second challenge for the Indian democracy is inequality in education. Education is a basic human right. Basic human right means each and every person living in this country has the right to education. They have the right to get educated. Right? The Constitution guarantees right to education to all people, irrespective of race, gender, religion, caste and etc. All majority of poor children, especially the girls in the rural areas. Rural means village. In the village areas, you must have seen, because there is no school in the village, the parents, or you can say the villagers, do not send their girls or their daughters to the cities to study, because they don't feel secure. First thing is that. right? So because of this, the girls are not being educated. But the government sees to it that each and every person of the country gets education. Whether it is a girl or a boy, it is equal. The girl and the boy has the equal right to education. So, the government sees that the poor children, especially the girls in the rural areas who are still deprived of basic education, what kind of scheme or programs can be launched so that the girls also get educated. The parents could send their daughters to education, for education. Okay, so here this equality says that the right to education is for everyone, whether they are from any caste or class, or whether they are from any sex, whether it is a girl or a boy, they all have the equal to right to education. Okay. Now moving further, we will see recognizing the dignity. How can we recognize the dignity? Now till here you must have understood. Before recognizing dignity, first let us see about the whatever we have learned. What have we understood about the equality? Okay. Till now we have understood that the caste we are born into, the religion we practice, the background we come from, whether we are male or female, these are often the things which determine why people are being treated unequally. Why do we treat people unequally? When you see a poor boy, would you easily friendship with him? No, you won't go. First thing comes in your mind is he is from a poor family. So we have started looking at him as per his class. Now same, there is another boy in your class who is rich. You immediately do friendship with him. So here it is told, here it has been said, treating unequally. Never treat anybody as per their class. And this happens in the society also. Okay? Now same, when the persons are treated unequally, their dignity is violated. Now what is dignity? Dignity means the state of quality of being worthy of honor or respect. And what is violated? Break or fail of comply with a rule or formal agreement. So here, when you treat people unequally, first thing you are doing is you are violating their dignity, their respect. Dignity is the right of a person to be valued. Each and every person of the country likes to be valued. He or she never likes to be treated as per their race or as per their class. They also want the same respect and to be treated ethically. Okay? So here it has been said that the person, when they are treated unequally, the first thing we hurt is their dignity. Because each and every person needs to be respected equally, to be valued equally, to be treated ethically. Nobody wants to be disrespected. Okay? Means having dignity means being treated with respect and treating others with respect. So here we are recognizing the dignity. How are you going to treat people equally? First thing, respect them. Okay? Now when you treat someone as per their class or their caste, the first thing you do is you hurt their dignity. The first thing you do is you hurt their dignity. You made them feel that they are less equal than all others. The first thing you did is treating them unequally. By treating them unequally, the first thing you did is you made them feel that they are less in the society. They have the less status in the society. Right? Now here talking about the class. The example which I gave you, it is about the class. Right? Now what about the caste? If you treat somebody unequal as per the caste, then also you are hurting the dignity of that person. Right? You are supposed to talk or to friendship with each and every person in your society or in your class. You are not supposed to treat them as per their caste. That he is not a Hindu, so I am not going to friendship with him. No. By doing this, you are hurting his dignity. Okay? So, people do not deserve to be treated like this as per their class or as per their caste. Nobody likes to be treated as per their class and caste. They deserve the same respect and dignity as anyone else. So here it's simple to say for you or for us, we can say each and every person of the country should be only an Indian. You are not supposed to distribute them in class or caste or religion, because each and every person in the society has the same dignity, and when you treat them unequally, they get hurt. So, when persons are treated unequally, their dignity is violated. Dignity, what is dignity? Dignity is the right of a person to be valued and respected for their own sake and to be treated ethically. Every person wants to be equal. Okay, not in the way of status or anything, but at least in the way of respect, they want to be treated equally. Having dignity means being treated with respect and treating others with respect. If somebody disrespects you, would you like it? No, because you love your dignity. Same goes for the other people. They also don't like to be treated as per their caste and class. It is of significance in morality, ethics, law and politics as an extension of the Enlightenment era concepts of inherent and inalienable rights. Means every people have the same rights, same way of treatment they need. So here, recognizing dignity, we are talking about recognizing dignity. Okay, so here we will take care about the dignity of the people. We will not hurt anybody's dignity. We will treat everybody equally. Okay, part 1. You must have faced many new words, right? Like sovereign, inherent, inalienable, enumerates, amendments. Listening to these words but not knowing the meanings. So let's write down such kind of word meanings so that it will be easy for us to understand. Okay, let's start. Our today's first word is sovereign. That is SOVEREIGN. Sovereign. Okay. The meaning of it is the full right and power of a governing body over itself without any interference from outside sources of the bodies. Means India is a sovereign country. It has been said that. Means India has the full right and power to govern the country, and no other bodies, means no other government, no other country could interfere in that. Without any interference, our country India can govern, rule. Okay. Next is inherent. The spelling is INHERENT. Inherent means existing in something as a permanent, essential or characteristic attribute. I repeat again. Existing in something as a permanent, essential or characteristic attribute. Next word is inalienable. Word I'll spell out INALIENABLE. Inalienable. The word is inalienable. The meaning of it is not subject to being taken away from or given away by the possessor. No subject or being taken away from or given by a possessor. Next word is discrimination. 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 The unjust or prejudicial treatment of different categories of people. Means to treat people differently as per their caste or class. Discrimination. The unjust or prejudicial treatment of different categories of people. Next is democracy. DEMOCRACY. A system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of the state, typically through elected representatives. That is called the democracy. To the people, for the people, by the people. Okay. Next word is expects. ASPECTS. Means a particular part or feature of something. What is aspects? A particular part or feature of something. Next, enumerates. Enumerates means to mention one by one. To mention one by one. Okay, that is called enumerates. And the last word is amendments. 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 Amendments means a minor change. Okay, a minor change to improve a text or a piece of legislation. Means you can say here that we had seen in the Indian Constitution that there were 101 amendments. Means the texts were improved, which were for the welfare of the people of the country. So I'll give you 10 seconds. Please note down all the words: sovereign, inherent, inalienable, discrimination, democracy, aspects, enumerates, and amendments. So, this is the end of our part 1. Now we will continue part 2 in the next session. Okay? Till then, whatever you have known, whatever you have learned today, please study well. Till then, take care of your health.